guys, Marty Schwartz here with Marty Music, hanging out with my good friend, an amazing guitar player, songwriter, singer, triple threat, Quinn Sullivan. Dude, thank you for coming, man.
Dude, thank you for having me.
So excited. I've followed you since you were a wee little boy. And now you are a man. Anyway, thank you so much for coming. I'm excited to be jamming, talk about what you got going on.
Pleasure, man. Pleasure.
Your dad was. He's here right now.
He is here.
But he was a drummer in a Grateful Dead cover band, which I don't think a lot of people, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I follow you and what you do.
Yeah, he was part of this band called Pearly Baker for about 30 years. And, I credit that to the earliest memories that I have of like being around music as a kid.
Seeing you went to some gigs and stuff?
So they used to, so they played at a bar every Tuesday night. So obviously I wasn't doing that at 3 years old. My parents weren't that crazy.
Oh, Grateful Tuesdays?
Yeah, Grateful Tuesdays, exactly, yeah. He would play every Tuesday night, and I always remember that. But there was actually a show called The Blowout, which they did every year. It was a festival that they played in New Bedford, which I'm from New Bedford, Massachusetts. And when I was like 3, I remember I went to that show. I had a little guitar, a little like first act acoustic guitar. I don't know if you know first act, yeah. Which was my first guitar, and I remember going there with my guitar, and I like went like not on the stage, but like in front of the stage, and just kind of pretending. I was like looking behind them, and I was like, yeah, I was playing along with them. And but those were like, some of the earliest memories as a kid.
Let's lead into the fact that you're kind of from that, you were a little kid, Dynamo category. When did you first actually like legitimately like play some chords and some soloing and stuff like that?
I started taking lessons formally when I was 5. So I had a guitar teacher, I gotta shout him out. His name is Brian Cass, and he's a local guitar player. He went to Berkeley. He teaches at Berkeley now. I would go see him like every Monday night. We had a local music store called Top Music in Fairhaven, Massachusetts, which is a town over from me. And I would go there every week. He taught me like my first formal, it was funny, the way I was playing a G back then, I would be playing it like this.
Yeah.
And he would be.
You're 5 years old.
Yeah,
man.
but he gets so mad because he'd teach me the real way, and I'd be like wanting to do that. And he'd be like, no, that's not it. But it eventually trained me into thinking, obviously, for the better. And,
but as a 5-year-old taking guitar lessons, clearly you wanted to play guitar.
Oh, I totally did. I mean, a lot of people had the misconception that my parents wanted to like force this on me and, helicopter. Well, that's
also
it's a common, it's a very, very common story.
Yeah.
My parents were the complete opposite. Didn't force anything on me. If anything, they let me sort of guide the whole thing. And I was the one that was like, yeah, I'm interested in this. I want to learn more about this. I want to like physically hold one of these things, So anyways, I would go to him every week, and I remember one of the first songs that I learned how to play was Blackbird by the Beatles. That was like the first song that I really learned formally. I learned it in like a few days, and I came back and I played it pretty perfectly, for that age. And I think Brian took notice to that and talked to my dad about it. I was like, yeah, he seems to be learning quickly, it seems to be like a natural thing that he's got, I think crediting my parents for, really like having this beautiful environment of like music playing in the house all the time. When I was in my mom's womb, they went to a Who concert. So that was my first show, was the Who, when I was minus 8 years old or whatever. So, it's always been ingrained in me. So I think, a lot of people ask me like, well, how, like these kinds of questions. And I'm just like, yeah, it's just literally, there was no real work with the guitar for me. It just came to me, really did.
I love it. Tell me what's going on right now. I'm catching you right now because you're touring around.
Yeah.
And you're still got more shows coming up. But do you have a newer album right now?
I have a new album that just came out called Salvation. Yeah.
Okay.
Came out a week ago.
So you're promoting that on the tour?
Promoting that on the tour. Yeah. This album I'm really proud of. I did the whole record in Minneapolis with a producer named John Fields, who's a genius. He's amazing and so talented. So I had this guy, Michael Bland. He's a great, phenomenal drummer. He played with Prince a ton.
He's on the record?
He's played on 4 tracks. So it was really, really, really special to spend a day with him in the studio.
Man.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Okay, so now that we're talking about Salvation, your new album that we'll have links for, for all your stuff for people to check out. Love to have you, if you're cool with it, play one of your tunes.
Yeah.
Sing and play a song.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Yeah.
My whole life I've been a stranger. I never ever felt the spirit. Believe it's never been my nature. If there ever was a voice I could not hear it. Knock me down, down on my knees, right where I thought I'd never be. No idea I could believe in my salvation. I can't explain, but you make me wanna pray, yeah, yeah.
Got to get to one of your kind of like, I'm sure it would be in your bio a lot, is your relationship to Buddy Guy. So tell me about that.
To backtrack a little bit, so right after I started to play guitar, I got a very lucky opportunity to go on the Ellen Show when I was 6.
Okay, I think I think that I recall that.
Yeah, so that was like my first time in front of millions of people. My dad and I flew out there to California, first time on a plane, and walked on, went on the show. It was a great experience, and Ellen was very sweet to me. She actually gave me the same color as that, actually, a Gibson 335.
Amazing.
Which I still have signed. It's signed by B.B. King and Buddy Guy. I keep it at home.
Yeah.
It's
primo.
primo. So that happened, and I got some attention from that. Funny enough, to this day, people still come up to me and go, "Oh, that's the first time I ever saw you play. It was on Ellen," and like years ago. 2 years after that, I find out that Buddy Guy is coming to a theater in our hometown called the Zeiterion. And I had not really known too much about Buddy other than I knew that I saw him on Eric Clapton's Crossroads Festival. My dad got me a copy of the DVD, and we watched it and was obsessed with it. It was the 2004 Dallas one, so the first one. And I saw Buddy come on stage. It was Buddy and Jimmy Vaughn and Robert Cray, Clapton, all these guys were on stage, Hubert Sumlin. And Buddy was one of those guys. And I just remember just freaking out, going like, who is this guy like playing this way? And such, like his playing was like not only great, but just like ferocious. I had never seen someone do that with a guitar. He was coming to the theater, so we got tickets to the show, and we knew some people that worked at the theater that had gotten us backstage. So I got to meet Buddy before the show. So I walked back. I had my little a Fender Squire Strat, and I had a polka dot tie because Buddy's thing is polka dots, of course. We walked into the show, and walked in his room. I remember he had a rugby shirt on, an American flag rugby shirt on, a slick fedora, a gold Rolex, gold rings. He was just like the coolest guy in the world, We walked in, and he's so nice and so sweet, like just such a gracious dude, and it's so nice to me as an 8-year-old. He had me play a little bit. I think I played something, and I was unplugged too, so I was just like, this blues thing, and just did that, and he was just like, "You be ready when I call you." I walked. So that night we played the last half an hour of the show together, and it was one of the greatest nights of my life, and truly, it shaped my life because I credit the experience that I had with him as being something that it first of all changed my life, but it changed my career. I mean, I think if I hadn't met him, I wouldn't have gotten to meet so many of the people that I did end up meeting through Buddy. So, yeah, I owe Buddy a ton for showing me the world, essentially.
Okay, so with that, you remember learning all of Blackbird. You went, played it, blah blah blah. But do you remember your first like little riff that before you could play all that kind of stuff? Do you remember the first like kind of song or riff that you ever figured out?
Yeah, I mean, one of the first ones. This was a little bit later, but I mean, one of the first ones was this one.
Do you have a Clapton-esque thing? Like, what do you think of Clapton when I say Clapton to you?
Oh my God.
Lick-wise.
I mean, obviously. But I mean, you know, for me, that was the Sunshine of Your Love thing was the original thing that I heard, and that was it, man. I mean, that, you know, because at the time I was listening to that. I was listening to the Beatles, but I was also listening to Cream and Jimi Hendrix and all that stuff too.
You have a classic rock dad.
I do. So naturally,
I do too.
And I'm so thankful for that, man, because I'm so happy that, you know, I was able to be shown this incredible music. And I feel like, you know, I had a little bit of advantage on other kids that were my age, because for the longest time ever, I couldn't relate to any of my friends. You know?
What riff do you wish you had written?
Ooh. Well, I mean, the Layla riff. I mean, that one definitely is top tier for me. I mean, that's one of the greatest rock riffs ever. And the other day I was watching somebody play this one too. And what I didn't know about that too was that
the open D string?
Yeah. And I played it the other day actually at a sound check, and I was like, holy shit, that's the right way to play it. I know I was just, but now I can't go.
Well, you know why? Because I think it was Joe Walsh I first saw him say that.
Yeah, it might have been. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, of course. But in all fairness, Led Zeppelin are overdubbing, or Jimmy Page had so many guitar tracks layered that sometimes when you hear the riff, like when I first learned it, I learned it by ear, and I just... And that's not wrong, because I'm thinking, oh, there's like, he's doubling it. There's some weird, you know, there's like accidental raunchiness in a lot of it. So I never put that together, even though after the fact, I'm like, oh yeah, I can hear that.
And once I had it, I was like, that's it. That's I get it now. I get that whole thing.
Let's go non-60s or 70s. Is there newer riffs that stand out to you that you might know?
I mean, this is...
okay, yeah. Clickbait.
Everybody on the internet knows that this is like everybody my age, every guy, and every girl too, but every girl and guy my age. Guitar lovers.
What song do you wish you had written?
Well, so kind of on the Beatles thing, I wish I totally wrote this one.
Another project that you're in that I want to mention, I've got some friends in that band, including you're my friend, Trouble No More.
Yeah, man. That's been so fun. I'm the newest member of the band. I've been a part of it now for about a year. Creatively, it's really fun for me.
The Allman Brothers catalog, but you guys have your own twist.
We have our own twist, yeah. I feel like we do keep it pretty true to the original arrangements.
What's one of your favorite ones that you sing and play in that?
Blue Sky. Yeah, that's one of my favorite. I mean, that's just one of my favorite songs of all time.
Me too.
In general,
I've talked about it a lot. I was a beginning kind of guitar student. I had the minor pentatonic. I was playing some blues, and I asked my guitar teacher. I was like, for example, a song like Blue Sky, it's E to A.
Yeah.
But whenever I play, it doesn't sound like what he's doing. And I was like, oh, it's a major pentatonic. And I was like, oh, show me that. And so I discovered that through Blue Sky. And then
I like that a lot. That's cool.
Tell me about the guitar.
Yeah.
Is this your number one right now, or you mix it up?
Kind of is. I normally play a Fender Strat. I mean, that's like my number one. It's been for years, but Yeah, I brought this one today just because I have actually been using this more recently.
And
just
you use
because
it in Trouble No More?
Yeah. It's mainly why I got it. I mean, that music calls for a Gibson, and I only have a 335. I never owned any other Gibsons.
There's
I don't have a Les Paul.
Yeah, there's nothing like a good reason to buy a guitar.
Dude, man.
Man, I need one for Trouble No More.
Need one for Trouble No More. So I got this. It was actually a gift from my dad. I got to credit him on that. He got this for me last couple years ago now, but it's really nice, and it's a good one too.
Looks
and the neck
cool.
feels great. Yeah, it's got the humbuckers, and it's the classic style. I mean, it's cherry red, and it just does what it needs to do. It's great.
Love it.
It's great.
Well, you're making it sound good.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, I want to thank Quinn Sullivan again. Dude, great playing.
Thank you.
Singing. I loved playing that song, your song with you.
You sounded great on it, man.
Thank you very much. Your new album, Salvation. We've got links for your social media, your album, all the info. Go check out Quinn Sullivan live, also with Trouble No More as well. Another great band with amazing musicians. You got it going on, man. So hopefully some people will come out and support you.
Right on, man.
All right, man. We'll see you guys later. Thanks again.